Madison Brooks was sexually assaulted by two men and left on the side of the road, drunk and injured. She woke up and wandered into the street where a car hit her. She died of her injuries a few days later. Hey everybody, welcome to the True Crime Squad. I'm Kristi Brower, here with my sister, co-host, and partner in crime, Katie Weaver. Hey Katie.
Hello.
How's it going?
Oh, it's going well.
You've
Except for
been
our
watching football.
weather. Oh, I've been watching football. That's right. Yeah. Yes. So it looks like we're gonna have a Eagles and Kansas City Super Bowl.
Yeah, interesting. I mean, I don't care, but I know a lot of you
Yeah.
guys do, so.
It's I always like Kansas City, but I honestly really would like to see the Broncos start doing something. But that's a conversation for another day. But
Right.
also, it's really damn cold, and overnight it's supposed to be 35 below with wind chills. So,
Yeah.
boo.
It's so cold that all of the schools within, a 50-mile radius of us
I've
are
already
all
canceled. Yep.
closed. They're already canceled tonight.
Except for the universities.
Yeah, the universities,
They
they're a
never
little
cancel.
harsher than that, but
Yeah.
yeah, all of the schools are like, yeah, no, we're not trying this in the morning. So,
Yeah. Good idea.
yikes. That's all I have to say about that.
Right. We ran a couple of errands today so that we don't have to run any tomorrow.
I have not left my house in 2 days, and I'm not
Yeah,
leaving. Well, I have to tomorrow later in the day, but not in the morning by any means.
me neither.
Obviously, what I've been doing today is my hair.
I see this. It's
I
very
got it
cute.
cut on Friday, and then I bleached it and colored it today. So,
Love it.
yeah, it's nice. It grows all the way. I just let it grow all the way out, and then I bleach it.
Hmm.
So it's been a while since it's been this bright,
Yeah.
but I do like it.
Oh, looks great.
I'm always glad to get it back.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I know this is our Monday episode. Katie, you're going to kick
Hmm.
us off with some WTF news.
Oh, yeah. I mean, technically, maybe this could have been Florida man or Florida ma'am or just
Oh,
Florida. What the hell are you doing? I
yeah.
mean, that could almost be
There's
its
that.
own episode every day, but
Mhm.
this one really takes the freaking cake. We do a lot of murder cases around here, and sometimes I really desperately look for some cases to share with you guys that aren't murder and sexual assault because it's like 90% of what we do.
Right.
Because that's the nature of the job, I guess. But this is one of those times I have something entirely different for you that is
Wow.
nevertheless a hell of a crime.
Well, let's hear it.
25 people have been arrested in South Florida and charged in a fraudulent nursing diploma scheme.
Oh my God.
That's right. All of the defendants face up to 20 years in prison if they're convicted for the alleged sale of more than 7,600 fraudulent nursing school degrees.
What?
Yeah,
Where are all these fraudulent nurses?
working.
Holy shit.
Freaking,
No wonder healthcare is insane in this country. Holy shit. How long
yeah,
has this been going on?
not sure. A while, it sounds like. And people have actually just been buying bogus diplomas and transcripts. Now,
But
they still have to pass the nursing board exam, which
right.
apparently they have been able to do in some cases. And yes, there are nurses out in the world working currently who haven't actually been to or finished school.
I mean, isn't it going to become obvious when you show up your first day and you don't know how to do anything?
Well, gosh, I
Like,
would think so.
but is this more like people who couldn't finish school or got partway through or something? Like, you'd have to have some know-how. Well, how do you pass your boards if you don't have any know-how?
I would think so. I would imagine a lot of these cases are people who got partway through nursing school and decided to buy a diploma rather than put in the time to finish, or were
My
maybe
God.
working as an LPN and purchased an RN degree.
Ugh.
or things like that. I hope so. I hope. I don't know. I mean, honestly, it's terrifying to think that that's happening because this is just the group that got caught.
Right. Like, are there more of these?
Are there?
And is there a way to track, like, who's using these diplomas?
I hope so. This is a pretty new case rolling out. It's not new to the investigators. They've been investigating it for a while. It actually stems from a nurse that was found to be not with a legal diploma in New Jersey and then tracked back to this whole bullshit organization.
Oh,
But
wow.
it's actually three different schools. And what? I mean, I can't think of I can, but I can think of a few more heinous things than giving people
Being a
false
fake
credentials
nurse.
in the medical community. I
Oh,
mean, I
my
thought that
goodness.
Florida was totally whack when they decided that they didn't need teachers anymore. And if
Right?
you had ever been in the military, or if your or your spouse had ever been in the military, you could go ahead and be a teacher in Florida. That was stupid enough. But
Yeah.
healthcare,
Oh,
healthcare.
my God.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Terrifying.
And it doesn't mean that they're nurses in Florida. They could be anywhere.
Right. They just got their credentials from Florida. Mm,
Hmm. So I don't know, guys. I think that's terrifying.
that is absolutely terrifying.
Yeah.
Well, I think we have to hold the hospitals and, medical facilities in all of our communities accountable
Hmm.
to ensure that they're not employing anyone that has one of these. And if they do,
Hmm.
to fire them, report them,
Hmm.
whatever, immediately.
Absolutely.
And like, there's not enough strain on our healthcare already. Good
Yeah.
Lord.
To discover something like this. It's
Yeah.
awful. Just
Horrifying.
awful. Yep. Well, with that being said, I'm going to turn the mic over to you for our main case.
Okay. So, our main case today is the rape and horrific accidental death of Madison Brooks. You've probably been seeing this story play out in the news for a little while. I've debated about whether or not to cover it because it's horrific.
Hmm.
But sometimes we need to cover horrific because there's some things about
Hmm.
this case that are terrifying, and some things going on in Louisiana that we need to keep our eyeballs on.
Yeah.
So this all started back on January 14th, the evening of January 14th, somewhere, January 14th, January 15th. Madison was at a bar. She is a Louisiana State University student.
Hmm.
Um, it, and she was at a bar called Reggie's. And she appeared to be very intoxicated. She was she was kind of hanging out with this group of guys.
Hmm.
Four men and one 17-year-old.
Oh.
So Kason Carver and Caven Washington, they're both 18, and Everett Lee, who is Caven Washington's 28-year-old uncle, and an unidentified 17-year-old. They were at Reggie's drinking. Mr. 17-year-old was drinking
Oh.
in an underage in a bar.
In a bar. Wow.
So there's video. There's a lot of video in this case, and it's pretty interesting. So about 1 o'clock, there's video of Madison. She's sitting on a stool. She has trouble. She stands up and then stumbles backwards. 3 people had to help her get up. Like, she was very, very intoxicated. And then about 1:30, she tries to get up from a bench that's near the entrance to the bar and falls while she's trying to get up. Um, so then the 17-year-old that she had been hanging out with kind of comes and helps her get back to her feet. And then she and these 4 people leave the bar. and they are walking toward a parked vehicle, and they all get in this vehicle. So then at about 2:50 a.m., police in this area receive a call about a fatal crash on Burbank Drive. This is where Madison stepped out into the road and was hit by a car and eventually dies of her injuries.
Oh.
The driver in that case was not found to have done anything wrong. They weren't speeding or inebriated or anything. She just stepped right out in front of them.
Well, they
So
called 911, right? And stayed
they
with
did.
her
They
until
called
they came.
911. Yep, stayed with
Yeah.
her, got the paramedics there, everything, but her injuries were too severe.
Oh, God. How horrifying for the driver, too.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. So, of course, police are, sort of trying to figure out what the hell happened. How did this girl just end up on that street alone, wandering out in front of cars? What was going on?
Mm-hmm.
So, please start looking into what's going on. Of course, they find Madison on the video in this particular bar, and they see her leave with these poor people.
Mm-hmm.
One of them says that she asked them for a ride home. He says this was Carver. He says he admitted that he agreed to give her a ride because he did not want to leave her while very intoxicated and the bar was closing. So this was supposedly to keep her safe.
Of course.
That they took her with, right? Because that's what you think, right?
Sure.
He says that he asked her where her friends were, and he said that she was really drunk and did not know where her friends were. So Carver was driving the vehicle. Lee was sitting in the front passenger seat. Washington and the 17-year-old sit in the back seat with Madison. They ask Madison for her address, and she falls over and cannot answer him.
Oh, my God.
How inebriated she is, okay? Probably should have been taken directly to a
Is she
hospital.
that inebriated or is she roofied?
Well, inebriated, turns out. So they drive for a while, and then they parked the vehicle. And Carver says that he overheard the 17-year-old ask the victim 5 times if she wanted to have sex with him. He allegedly
Oh, my God.
verbal consent. They have some video where they're saying she's giving verbal consent. This is the same person who her friends were and could not verbalize her address, and who was asked 5 times while she's so inebriated, and they say she consented. So apparently, the 17-year-old and Washington took turns having sex with her.
Oh, my God.
And he says
catatonic. She's mostly unconscious.
Totally. Yeah, she's unconscious. He said, Carver says that he thought she appeared drunker and her speech was slurred, and he really didn't think that he made it pretty clear that he was very uncomfortable with this whole thing. He told the police he felt uncomfortable and he hated what was happening. Now, was it uncomfortable enough to protect Madison? No. No, it was not.
Yeah. Or call the police or do anything. Yeah.
Now, in the interview, Carver was asked by the police if Madison was too impaired to consent to sex, and he said, I guess. This person that they didn't dare leave at the bar because she was so drunk, couldn't stand up on her own. Once she got in the vehicle, couldn't tell them where her friends were, fell over and couldn't speak when asked for her address, was definitely able to consent to sex, right?
So out of grave concern to her, they pulled over and took turns having sex with her. Great.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So in a postmortem examination of her body, so they did an autopsy. She did have injuries consistent with sexual assault.
Of course.
She had a urine sample that was positive for THC. and she died from multiple traumatic injuries from the car collision.
Mhm.
Now, her blood alcohol at the time of her death was 0.319. So, the blood alcohol limit in Louisiana to drive is 0.08. She
Ooh,
was 3.5 times over that.
yikes.
Not someone who can consent.
No.
So apparently, what happened is after they, had consensual sex with her, they threw her out of the car on the side of the road and went home and just left her there.
Oh my God.
Where somewhere around 3 o'clock in the morning, she comes to, wanders out into the road, is hit and killed. Because that's what you do when you have consensual sex with a woman,
Mhm.
right? That doesn't seem sus at all.
No.
They didn't take
Sure.
her home to where they live or her apartment or the hospital.
My God.
They dumped her on the side of the road. That definitely screams, yes, she was consent. She could
Mhm.
consent, doesn't it?
Sure. What horrific garbage people.
Yeah. So Carver, Washington, and Lee have all been booked into the Baton Rouge Sheriff's Office jail.
Mhm.
Carver and Lee are charged with principles to third-degree rape, which means that they were witnesses, they were present.
Mhm.
Washington is charged with third-degree rape. So
Mhm.
let me tell you what Louisiana law says is third-degree rape. A third-degree rape is a rape committed with the anal, oral, or vaginal sexual intercourse is deemed to be without the lawful consent of a victim because it is committed under any one of the following circumstances. When the victim is incapable of resisting or of understanding the nature of the act by reason of a stupor or abnormal condition of mind produced by an intoxicating agent or any cause, and the offender knew or should have known of the victim's incapacity,
Well, that seems pretty clear.
right? Also, when the victim, through unsoundness of mind, is temporarily or permanently incapable of understanding the nature of the act, and the
Sure.
offender knew or should have known
Mhm.
the victim's incapacity. The oldest person in that vehicle was 28.
Yeah.
You telling me he didn't know?
Mhm.
Uh, or if
And
they're
even a 17-year-old should understand consent a little better than that.
mhm.
But also,
Whoever,
what the hell with this bar?
right?
Anyway, keep
Well,
going. Yeah.
this bar is in big trouble. Um,
Good.
for all purposes, let's see. Oh, who commits the crime of third degree rape shall be imprisoned at hard labor without benefit of parole, probation, or suspension of sentence for not more than 25 years.
Wow.
So you'd think, right? Most of these guys have already bonded out. They've all got a defense attorney that's got the video showing that she consented and this was a terrible accident, but no crime was committed. Are you fucking kidding me right now? With this
Good luck
bullshit.
with any jury with that one. Good luck.
Well, I mean, the judge has already said, yeah, this is a crime
Mm.
and judged them.
Yeah.
So we shall see, but it is very scary to see what's going to happen. They're dealing with a minor, and then they've got these other three adults.
Is the minor being
Um,
charged as an adult?
the minor is charged, but I don't think as an adult.
Wow.
There's
If
more.
you're
There's a lot more to
adulty enough
come.
to be drinking at a bar
And raping
and
someone,
raping
then
someone, I think you can be charged as an adult.
right.
Oh,
So
what an
the bar,
upsetting case.
Reggie's, has had
Yeah.
its alcohol license pulled, and it is currently shut
Good.
down.
Good.
Washington, one of the men who committed the rape,
Mhm.
has now been charged with another rape that happened in 2020. Apparently, this guy's a little too familiar to the law.
Oh my God.
This was with a 12-year-old child, and he's charged with first-degree rape.
Oh.
So there's a lot to come in this case. It is absolutely horrific and disgusting what these human beings did to
Mhm.
her, and then dumped her on the side of the road like trash.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, that really screams we didn't do anything illegal,
That
right?
will be the nail. Well, don't you think? That will be the nail in their coffin
Yep.
with the jury because no jury's going to hear that and decide, "Oh yeah, I can understand that. You just Yeah.
Well, we're done with her.
Yeah.
Trash on the side of the road. It's horrifying. It's
We didn't know where she
absolutely.
lived and she couldn't tell us. So we just, yeah, like
And
there's
we
no
didn't
way to
want the
tell that
police to know
story.
what we'd been doing with her.
I mean,
I mean,
the
come
best
on.
they could do is claim that she insisted on getting out, which is probably what they will do. But,
She insisted, really? She couldn't tell you her address or where
mhm.
her friends were.
And knowing now what her blood alcohol was,
Yeah,
no.
0.319. I mean, she's lucky she didn't die from alcohol poisoning.
Right. At 3.319, that's enough to tell you that she wasn't coherent.
Yeah. Yeah, all they have to do is have the medical examiner talk about, her
Mhm.
impairment at that level. But come on.
Mhm.
I mean, they did not want to be associated with that girl.
Yep.
Ignorant trash.
Mhm.
But we're going to keep a close eye on this because I think it's really important that we acknowledge how important these laws are and that they are enforced as they are written. She
Yep.
was clearly impaired, and medically impaired. And that's what the law says.
Yep.
So
Yep.
anyway, just makes me sick. But, so much love to Madison's family. I cannot imagine
Oh,
what they're going through right now, having lost their
horrific.
19-year-old daughter to this unbelievable,
Mhm.
just heartless, cold,
Mhm.
terrible treatment.
Yep. Awful.
Nobody deserves to be treated like that.
And I'm glad that bar is busted and getting shut down because
Apparently, that bar is a
had they
big
not
part
been
of the problem.
serving piles of minors in there, this also may not have happened. And
Right.
some of you will probably at me and say if teenagers want to get a hold of alcohol, they will. And that's not wrong. But
But they don't have to do it in an establishment like that.
mhm,
Hello, that's 100% illegal.
I'm shocked that that was going on and they were getting away with that.
Yeah, what I've read is that that's fairly common and fairly well known,
Mm,
and that this place is kind of known as that kind of a bar.
mhm,
It's college town, a lot of college
right.
town bars. They're going to
Mhm.
serve to minors.
Mm,
It's fucked up.
yep. Very.
But we will keep you posted on what happens with Madison's case because
Yeah.
these four people
Need to be
need to
held
serve their
accountable.
prison time for this.
Yep.
This is absolutely disgusting. And
Yep.
they need to be sex offenders for the rest
And
of
they
their
need to be
lives.
sex offenders. They need to never ever have the opportunity to do this to anybody else.
Right. Agreed.
For
Agreed.
sure.
All right, Katie. Well, I know you're going to wrap us up with some creepy crime.
Yes. Do you remember that Drew Barrymore movie, Never Been Kissed?
Hmm.
Josie Grossi.
Josie Grossi. Yeah, that's actually probably my favorite line from that movie.
We'll meet the new Josie Grossi.
Uh-oh.
This is Hyejeong Shin.
Okay.
Hyejeong is Korean in the US. She's 29 years old. And recently she went and signed herself up for high school
Oh,
in
what?
in New Jersey. Yes. She enrolled herself in with a phony birth certificate. She told the school and students that she was 15
Right.
and began attending their school.
For what purpose?
Well, we nobody knows quite yet. Now, I don't think looking at her she looks 15 at all.
Mm-mm.
And neither did some of the students. People kept asking her,
She
"How
looks
old are
15.
you?" And one girl said, "I asked her how old she was and she just looked at me a little bit and then just turned and walked away." She said, "I think that was a big red flag. I don't know why the school didn't."
Right?
The
Well, the kids
students
would know,
are very miffed at the school. It took them 4 days for them to figure out that these were false documents. The thing is, in the US, at least in their state, and this is pretty standard, students don't get turned away from school regardless of immigration status.
Right.
And so, and this maybe doesn't have anything to do with immigration status, but essentially, she gave them some falsified paperwork, and it took them a few days to sort through it and be able to verify that it was false.
Hmm.
So she did spend some of that time in the counseling office getting set up with classes and them trying to sort out how old she really was and what to do with her. But she did actually attend some classes, exchanged phone numbers with some girls,
Ooh.
set up a place to meet with some girls to hang out later after school.
Ooh.
Those girls
That's a
didn't
big
end up
concern.
going,
Oh, good.
but they said after that she was very cold and weird with them. The word on the street is that she was even texting some of them days after she got caught and kicked out of school.
Oh my God. Like she
So,
thought she really made some friends there? What?
or is this a trafficking thing?
Right. That's my worry. Is like, what's the reason for doing this in the first place?
It is very strange. Now, some people were like, well, maybe she just needed to needs to get a GED. Maybe she was trying to go to school. And maybe except for that, there's some pesky details. One is that a person by the exact same name graduated from Rutgers with a bachelor's degree in 2019, and same name, same birth, or same age, and Rutgers hasn't verified this yet, but a lot of people believe that this is the same person.
Oh my
That
God.
she wasn't trying to get an education; she very well has one. But
Yeah.
also, if you were just trying to get your GED, they have an adult learning center in that county. And also, why would you have a fake birth certificate and try and pass yourself off as a freshman in high school when
Right.
you're almost 30?
Right. Like, why a freshman? Like, you really wanted to be there for 4 years?
Right. How
Like, it
bizarre
would,
is this?
I mean, it would have been easier to pass off as a senior probably than to pick
Mhm.
an age that much younger than her, half her age.
Mhm.
Like, come on, man. What is my hair is driving me nuts.
So, so the charge is falsifying government documents. It's not a super heavy charge. At least that's all there is so far. Maybe there'll be more, maybe there won't. But it is very strange.
Yeah.
The school, the police, nobody is saying at this point what the motive was. It doesn't appear that she has an attorney yet. We may learn more about this case and we may not.
I
I
don't
just
know.
am completely dumbfounded by this one.
I just really hope that the parents of any kids that had contact with her scrub their phones, make sure that they have no way to that she has no way to have contact with them. Like, that's
Hmm.
scary to me. Like, why would she be trying to meet up with these kids
Hmm. It's
after she's busted?
scary and creepy. Also, a bunch of the kids showed up at a school board meeting, uh, and they refused to let them speak.
Well, they're pissed.
Pissed about that. They wanted a chance to be heard because they're feeling unsafe now.
Yeah,
Yeah, their schools because why wouldn't they? Yeah.
right.
So they're feeling unsafe at their school. They want to be heard. The school board didn't want to talk to them about this at all. So they've been protesting in their school. There's some pretty great TikToks of them all out in the hallway, uh, chanting and carrying signs and doing a pretty good little picket
Good for them. They should be.
because they want some rules to change. They want to know that they're safe. They're already under the constant threat of getting
Right.
shot at school.
Right.
Now we have adults enrolling in school and posting
Right.
as their peers and
There's no way that there was
phone numbers
a
and hang
good
out.
reason for her to do this.
No, there cannot be a good
No.
reason. But here's something else that I think is very sus. There is also a K-pop performer who's pretty famous in South Korea
Mhm.
by the same name with the same age. So do we
Really?
still actually know who this person is?
I don't know. That's
Or is the
interesting.
name she's going by still a fake? Or is she the
Mhm.
person who graduated from Rutgers? We don't really know for sure any of those things. It's just there's still a lot of unknowns about this one, but I wanted to share it with you guys because wow, that's a new one.
Yeah, that is.
And if this was an attempt at trafficking, which I so hope it was
Oh,
not, but
me
I
too.
don't think we can take anything for granted at this point.
No.
Then, as parents and grandparents, we need to be very aware that our kids could actually be exposed to predators at school in a whole brand new way.
Yeah, that's terrifying.
Mhm. So there
Well,
you have it. We'll keep an eye on it. If anything else comes from this, I'll let you know. We'll find out.
please do. Thank you very much for that. Well, this is our Monday episode. You know it. Please like, subscribe, share, comment, and do all the things
Mhm.
it helps us to grow. Also, we do have a Patreon. We're a True Crime Squad on Patreon, and we do 2 new episodes a month that are just for our patrons. We just
Mhm.
dropped the January ones, so you might want to check those out and go check out what's available over there. There's like 2.5, 3 years worth of content over there now.
Mhm.
There's a lot, so becoming a patron it's really worth it because there's a lot more
Uh-huh.
shows than what we've put out here. So check that out. And we will
Mhm.
be back on Tuesday and Wednesday with our usual episodes. And we'll be back Wednesday night with our live case updates live stream, which is at 7 p.m. Mountain on our Facebook and YouTube. And you know it. We are the True Crime Squad. Thanks for being here.
Take care.